What's up, y'all? So I've had my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K for 3 years now. Is it still worth it in 2024? The short answer? Absolutely. It is 100% worth it in 2024. The Pocket 4K debuted in 2018, I believe. The OG came before it. And in 2021, I wondered whether or not I should get a camera that was several years old at that point. And I decided to go with it, and I've been rocking with it for the past 3 years. So this will not be a spec'd out, teched out review. I'm not the type of person that's not this type of video. There are, in all of the years this camera's been out, so many videos that you can find that with. I'm just gonna tell you about my experience and how I've felt about the camera in the past few years. I think the first thing I'm gonna touch on is the image quality. It is gorgeous. It is almost filmic in its texture. It has a softness to me that I really enjoy texturally, viscerally. And I love the way the imagery looks. It took a little while to kind of get the hang of what meant as far as what things looked like. I looked back at old footage from 2021 and I didn't know what I was doing, I was still figuring it out, but the image quality is in and of itself a great reason to get this camera in 2024. I probably made everything with this camera. I make all of my YouTube videos with the camera. I'd have it in my hand otherwise, and I only have one. So YouTube videos, I made music videos for myself and for others. I've made experimental videos. I've made video essays. I've vlogged with it. I've done corporate gigs and freelance work with this camera. This camera has paid for itself over and over and over again. Another thing I love about this camera is that it came with DaVinci Resolve Studio, and I love that I don't have to pay for that monthly. Even with the free version, you have access to so much. I have used DaVinci Resolve primarily the past few years, and I love it. I also love not having to pay for something every month of my life for it to work. It's great that I've been able to dabble in coloring. I will say initially and even now, editing isn't my favorite thing in the world to do in DaVinci Resolve. I found back when I had like Final Cut Pro, maybe because I was used to it, but it is just easier to me. If you know all the shortcuts, or if you have a controller for DaVinci Resolve, maybe it's easier. And it has since gotten easier for me. But I do find coloring is easier than editing in DaVinci Resolve. As with any camera, as no camera is perfect, you run into some sort of issues sometimes. There's trouble with each cameras. These cameras have weaknesses and strengths. And one of the weaknesses, in my opinion, of this camera is the form factor. It's cumbersome. I've since grown used to it, so it's not an issue for me, but it is cumbersome. The battery life, which is another weakness of this camera, because you need to have an external battery or have it rigged up. For me, when I'm taking it out, it is extremely cumbersome, or it can be pretty cumbersome. It is not a low-key, discreet camera at all. People end up talking to me a lot when I have this camera. I mostly don't mind, but I would love a camera where it is more discreet. I've had people straight up come up and ask me how much this camera is. Don't do that. So yeah, I think the attention that it brings, I don't love, but I don't know that it's specific to this camera versus any other camera. If the camera were smaller, maybe I'd have less issues with that, but it's mainly something I've gotten used to, and I just mind my business and do my thing. Another weakness of the camera is its low light capabilities. It's not great in low light. Don't plan to take it out at night, and it'd be cool, as I hear with like some Sony cameras and stuff like that. It's not a characteristic of this camera, but I haven't had any issue with that. You find your light you rig up what you need. You bring your lights. I've shot concerts with this camera, events, things in low light that I made it work. A little denoiser, a little work in post, and you make what you have work. I think that's the point of this. I've touched on the battery life. It's not great, and by it's not great, the external battery that comes with the camera, that lives inside the camera, does not last very long, 30 minutes, if that. I haven't used it much without the external battery or an external battery pack that I have. So you don't really think about it. Again, after several years, it's just something I know comes with the territory of using this camera, and I don't think about it much, but that is something to think about if you're looking to get this camera. Do I want another camera? I often want a new camera. Blackmagic has had multiple cameras come out since the Pocket 4K, the 6K, 6K Pro, 6K full frame. I think there's a whole new box camera that came out. What is it called? Pixis? Something like that. I haven't dug too deep into it because I'll want it. I'll want it, or I'll get excited about it, and the 4K is what I need to stick with at this point, and it does everything I need for it to do. The Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K absolutely is worth it in 2024 because it's what I have, and more than it's what I have, it's great. It's great for what I use it for. I still want to make a short film with this camera, a film that I really liked that was in Sundance a few years ago, The Headhunter's Daughter, I want to say, directed by Don Ebb. I'll make sure that I said that right, but that was in Sundance. Like, sometimes you need to see what the camera's capable of. Sometimes it's good to know that you are still working towards something with what you have, with what gear you have. This camera has showed me how to start to build a community online. It has connected me to other artists. It's connected me to myself. It has made me money. It has helped me to be able to live and pay my bills. I don't take it for granted because there are a lot of other cameras out there, but there are a lot of cameras that aren't as great as this one as well. But I think whatever you have, go for it. Start there. Make it happen. If you are looking to get this camera and you have a few extra $100, maybe go with the 6K. But I love this camera. I'll probably have it for a long while. Even if I get another camera, if I can afford it, I won't be getting rid of this one. Invest in lenses. That's really all I gotta say about it. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for watching.